be seated in the presence of God. Let me take this time once more to thank Pastor Chikarange, the First Lady and the leadership of this church for extending the invitation to us. We were blessed as well last night. We are amazed at the hospitality that we received and the warm welcome we received from this church. My wife could not come with us today because she is preaching at our church. We've dedicated this month to the women in our church. So we sit under their ministry and listen to what God has to say through them. Again, I came with Reverend Daniel and Pastor Floyd. I came with them last night, and they said, Apostle, we still coming with you. So thank you, gentlemen, for bringing me to this place to minister God's word. How many of us are ready for the fresh word? 1, 2, 3. Amen. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Turn with me to the book of John, chapter 3, verse number 16. This is the most familiar scripture in the Bible. And the interpretation of it, the immunity that will come out of it, will be by revelation. How many of you were here last night? Lift up your hands, let me see. What do you remember about last night? What do you remember about last night? Revelation knowledge. Are you walking by revelation? Are you able to catch revelation? John 3 verse 16. I want someone with the King James Version to read it out loud. If you have the King James Version, read it out loud. John 3 verse number 16.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting life.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. I want you to say this word after me. Say begotten. Begotten. The title of my message this morning, I'll preach 2 sermons in one. I'll preach 2 sermons in one. So I want to title my message, The Womb of God. The Womb of God. That's what I'll be talking about. But I want to start with what I want to be dealing with later, but it will direct me to myself. I want to talk about 4 types of doors that we need in our lives as children of God. 4 types of doors. These doors are doors of the kingdom. So after you are born again, there are doors that you need to consider. Doors that you need to use to enter into your next level or the next level of your Christian life. Door number 1, if you are writing, write it down. It is the door of ministry. The door of ministry. After you are born again, it is imperative for you to discover what your ministry is. It is imperative for you to discover what your ministry is. The door of ministry is important for us who belong to the kingdom of God. Because if you do not know what your ministry is, you are going to disturb other people who are pursuing their ministries. You are going to try and copy what others are doing. You are going to try and be counterfeit. You are going to try and be T.D. Jakes. You are going to try and be Noel Jones. You are going to try and be Apostle Baloyi when you are not. Because you do not know what your assignment is. You do not know what your ministry is. Not all of us are called to preach like I'm doing. Not all of us are called to occupy the office of a pastor. Not all of us can be apostles. But there are types of ministries that we can possess, that we can function in. Some of us are called to be in the ministry of helps, called into the ministry of helps, but we want to be pastors. We want to be bishops. We want to be evangelists when we are not called for that ministry. You see, you can only function excellently in the space of your assignment. You can only do as much when you function in your space, when you do what you were called to do. You see, if your ministry is singing, you do it excellently. And I cannot do it like you because I'm not called for it, but I will do excellently what I'm called to do. So the first door to identify is the door of ministry. Ask your neighbor, do you know what your ministry is? Ministry simply means work. After you are born again, there is a work that you must do in the kingdom. But you must discover what that work is. Nobody has been called into the kingdom to be idle. Nobody has been called into the kingdom to do nothing. There are many ministries in the kingdom that are waiting for people to identify that this is my ministry. Some of you are just called to be adjutants, to be helpers of pastors. It's a ministry. It's a ministry to serve the man of God. It's a ministry to make sure that his suits went to the dry clean. It's a ministry to make sure that he does not struggle with things that will take away strength from him, because he needs this strength when he goes into a secret place with God to download the revelation to come and give it to him. So the first door is the door of ministry. But now, what we must understand, after you have identified or discovered your ministry, you must know you are not the owner. It's critical to know you are not the owner of that ministry, but you are just a steward. So God has given you stewardship. Take care of my word. That's why Jesus asked Peter, do you love me? And then he says, how can you ask me that question? Yes, I do love you. He asked him again, do you love me? Then Peter begins now to wonder. This question now has got a motive behind it. He said, yes, I do love you. Third time he asked him, do you love me? Now, if someone whom you think they know that you love them ask you 3 times if you love them, you will obviously think there's something wrong here. He's trying to test my intelligence or the quality of the love that I have for him. Then he says, if you love me, do what? Take care of my sheep. You see, it's critical to know that the sheep, Chikalange, is not our sheep. There's no amen in this house. Amen. He says, if you love me, take care of my sheep. So, as much as God has given us stewardship, as much as God has given us the role to lead his sheep, we must know it's not our sheep. We are steward.
Yes.
So whatever ministry you identify and you want to pursue, you must know you are not the owner. Because the minute you think you are the owner, pride will take over you. The minute you think you own this thing, you will be too proud even to worship God. You see, guest speakers most of the time, when we get to the time of praise and worship, you see them sitting down. And they don't want to, no, I'm talking as a guest speaker. I'm a guest speaker. Everybody else is worshiping God and praising God, and they are sitting down and doing nothing. You see, pride has entered the life of that person.
Yeah.
Because they think that they own this ministry. Listen to me, gentlemen. You can measure me. You can say, Apostle, that guy is deep. That guy preaches powerful. But you see, without God, without the unction, I cannot do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I'm not the owner, I'm the steward. I'm gifted. Somebody else is using me to do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because on my own, I can't do it. On my own, I cannot preach these mysteries because I don't know them. But someone is downloading. As I stand, I speak word for word. Someone is busy delivering. Say this, say this, say this. So whatever ministry you identify and you pursue and you function in, you must know you are not the owner, but you are the steward.
Yes.
So glory does not come to you, but glory goes to the owner of the ministry. So that's door number one. Look at your neighbor and say, find your minister. Find your minister. Find your minister. Door number two is very critical also, is a financial door. Financial door. You see, money has been misinterpreted in the church. And it's a problem because people who were not supposed to occupy our seats have occupied them because we don't define money well. You go to the Bible, when Jesus gave parables, 80% of his illustrations and parables were about money. You don't like money, Bazaar. You see, I've had Christians. Let's take a short break. I've heard Christians saying, "Hi, ne atifuni chale. The love of money is the root of evil." But my question is, how do you spend 99% of your time pursuing what you don't love? Because even in winter when it's cold, you are compelled to wake up and make the geyser on, go to the bathroom, take a bath, and go to work. You are not going there to socialize.
Yeah.
You are going there for ching-ching. Now, how can you claim that you don't love money when you spend 99% of your life pursuing it? You see, you can never attract yourself. I'm going to teach for a few minutes, then I'll preach. You can never attract to yourself what you criticize. What you talk bad about cannot befriend you. Money will not come to you if you talk bad about it. Now let me fix something. When Paul said the love of money is the root of all evil, he's not talking to people who love money for good causes.
Okay.
He's talking to people who love money for wrong reasons. So if somebody sells their body for the love of money, then the love of their money becomes the root of evil. Let me try to explain it. We take offerings in the church. And the offerings we want, we never say bring your plate of food. We say bring money. For a good cause. Right, Apostle, explain more. Silver and gold belongs to God.
Yeah.
So we cannot hate what belongs to God. If you don't love, you hate. It's clear.
Yeah.
And no one can say to me here, you hate money. So if you don't hate it, you love it. The same Bible in Ecclesiastes, it says, money answereth all things. The chair you are sitting on did not fall from heaven because you prayed in tongues. Somebody had to produce money to get this chair. The clothes you were wearing, they were bought with money. You cannot get to Sasol Garage. You work for Sasol. You cannot get to Sasol Garage and say, I work for Sasol Mandeli Kalaba, full tank. They will look at you and say, we understand you are a doctor, but say, something is wrong in your mind. This is business, we need money. So now, I'm a lover of money. I don't know about you. And my love for money is not the root of evil. Because I don't love money to pursue evil. Now you get me. I love money for good causes. I love money so I can take care of my family. I love money so the work of God can advance. I love money so that I can live comfortably. So, here's the catch. By financial law, we must have money as children of God. It's not a sin to have money. God says in Jeremiah 29:11, I have plans that I have for you, and my plans are to prosper you and not to harm you. I can prove with many scriptures. Jesus had a treasurer in his ministry. You can't have a treasurer when you don't have money. Your neighbor does not have a treasure because they don't have that amount of money to have a treasure. But Jesus had a treasurer because he had so much money that he could afford even quality clothes. How do I know this? When he was beaten up and was bleeding, his garment was tattered, but they still gambled for it.
Okay.
Come on, Pretoria. Those guys were sinners, my brother. They were not gambling for his garment to get anointing. They knew nothing about anointing, but they knew the quality they allowed. And quality eduamo, you can only afford it when you are moneyed. The people who know ego didakule abazalwane. Bazalwane, they know where you get cheap stuff. They will tell you, Ndiko idiba apala stepisi apala bri one. Na 500 in that renda was number. But then let's face it, Bazalwane. We look at people who are not born again. They listen, they enter shops that are meant for us. They wear clothes meant for us. Remember, they are not in the kingdom. We are in the kingdom. And people who are in the kingdom are different to people outside the kingdom. So this thing has got to change. You need to learn, if you are writing, write this down. You need to learn to develop other streams of income. Bazarone, we sing songs. We sing songs like, let me think about a song. Sikhululiwe ngegazi lika Jesu. Roboporo wathi roboporo wakha Yesu Kristu. Maroba ayeso oroboporo na. I felt like it's nice. I enjoy it. It's unshakable. But if you look at the reality of our lives, we are not really free. As long as you are working for someone and making someone rich, you become a slave to that person, because when they say you must be here 8 o'clock, whether your body still wants to rest or not, you are compelled to be there. So you are a slave of someone. So you are not really free. There's no amen, because 90% of us are not really free. Hey, Shikaranga, I'm going to teach my brother and provoke some things here within people, because there are giants lying within people, sleeping giants. So I want to awake them. And after this revival, there will be millionaires in this church. Amen. Because your makeup is that of a millionaire. Yeah. The boss you are working for is occupying the seat you were supposed to occupy. Amen. You are a kingdom child. So now, what happens? We become slaves because we only have one stream of income. So we only depended upon that stream. So they can abuse us. We can't live. They can swear at us. We can't live. They can confine us in harsh conditions of work. We can't live, because that's all we depend on. But wisdom and revelation tells me that we need to develop streams. Not one stream, streams of income. Why? When one stream stops flowing, you can drink from the other. Amen. When you are kicked out from one stream, you can fall on the other stream. So we need to develop streams of income. Don't get your income from one source. Your income must be from different sources. It is children of God that are supposed to own land. It's us that must own property. It's us that must own Sasol oil and energy. It's us that must own Shell garages. It's us that must own car dealerships. It's us that must be economically empowered. It's us that must build big churches for the Lord. Amen. But what is happening? Muslims, they build big mosques. And you find it's only 2 people that have built. Why? Because those guys have got streams of income. I said to our church, never come to our church and say the church must take care of you when you have your 2 eyes, 2 hands, 2 legs, brains, and you are healthy. Don't come, because I will give you a 5-fold minister. Don't come and say the church must take care of you. You must get your lazy something to work. a mall, and all they do when you reverse your car, what's a time alarm? What's a time alarm? And then they stand by your window. Then you open, you give them R2. But if they get those R2 from 20 cars, he's able to put bread on the table and he's a Yaupe addict. When you don't even smoke, you've got your brains, you've got everything, and you want to be lazy, you want us to take care of you. Go and do somebody's gardening. Go and do somebody's washing. Go and do something and get income.
Amen.
You are educated, Marufuru, Abafana Benyaupe. Ayapanda. Look at your neighbor, say, I'm your panda. Develop streams of income. We must be so economically empowered that when the devil thinks about us, he gets a running stomach. When the devil wants to keep us mediocre, when the devil wants to prevent our growth, when the devil wants to keep us under siege, he looks at the church members and he finds that money is not our problem. Money is not a problem to the church. The church is economically empowered. We need young people. Listen, we must drive beautiful cars whilst we are here on earth. In heaven, it's streets of gold. There are no robots, so you don't need a car. I'm awakening the giant in you.
Yeah.
Some of you, God has deposited business ideas, business concepts in you, but you are doing nothing about them. And the next thing you see it on TV, somebody has taken the idea and ran with it. And you say, that was my idea. Who knew it was your idea? Because you did nothing. It's one thing to dream, it's another to implement. So I want you to come out of this revival, find something to do outside your job. The reason why people don't tithe in the church, you know the reason? Now I'm touching another one. The reason people don't tithe in the church is because their things don't add up. The budget doesn't add up. But let's think of it. Let's say you don't have needs. You don't have bills. You don't have anything. You are fresh from school. You get a job, it pays you 12,000. Is it not a lot? Is it not a lot? It's a lot of money. But now, you go to Edgar's, you take clothes, you owe, you take furniture, you buy a car, and you are paying installment, and all those things, then all those bills eat up on your gross income. And what happens now? You start to see 12,000 as little. Then you begin to do. I want 10% increase. But in the beginning, it was enough, and it was a lot. Now you start to prioritize. Now this is sensitive. You start to prioritize furniture companies, clothing companies, vehicle finance companies. You prioritize them and put God last. Look at your neighbor and say amen. You take 18%, it goes to your car, 4% furniture, 3% add gas, and then before you get to cell phone contract, it's already on minus. Then where is the 10%? Yamudi. It's not that people don't want to tithe. They want to tithe, but the budget doesn't add up. And the reason for that is lack of financial literacy. There's no one teaching us about money because we think money is evil in the church. I bought land in Guyana. I bought lands, not one land, lands in Guyana. Reason for that, land in Guyana is still affordable. It's not cheap anymore. It was cheap before, not anymore. Now it's affordable. So I bought lands. You know why I did that? I don't even have a plan to build a house there or whatever. I'm investing in land. When my daughter turns 18 years, that land would be very much valuable. You don't get me? We are living on liabilities and we don't have assets. That's our problem. We are giving testimonies of liabilities. You got a job and you went to Toyota Finance and they gave you a deal. You are paying installment. You don't even have papers for the car. Then you stand on the pulpit. You lose your job, you stop paying. Toyota Finance take the blessing. Those are liabilities. Anything that takes money from you and it does not generate money for you, it's a liability. An asset does not take money from you, it brings money to you. So our focus as a church, as kingdom people, should not be liabilities. Our focus as kingdom people should be assets. What do I own? What can I invest in? What property can I buy and own? We are not meant to be debtors. We are meant to be owners. We lend, we borrow people. We don't borrow from people. I know I won't get an amen. Some of you are not comfortable. It's fine. You are still paying for a Yaris. Paying installment for Yaris. A car that I can lift up alone. And when you are paying for 5 years. Yaris. 5 years. Kingdom child. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. And your salary, your gross is 30-something thousand, 20-something thousand, and you are paying installment for Yaris. You lack financial literacy. If you were serious about money, that thing would have been paid up in a year or 2 years. And then you don't rush for another car before you own property. People have got 3 cars, 5 cars, and where you stay, you are renting. Or you are staying in a place paying rent of 18,000, going down the drain every month. And when you can't keep up with the rent installments, the landlord kicks you out. And you calculate the 18,000 that you paid for 2 years, how much that is. With that money, you could have bought 3 cars and gave them to the church. There's no amen, I only hear The financial door, we must be financially literate. Don't try to impress anyone. Another pastor, Chikaranga, came to me and said, Baloyi, you are big. Baloyi, you are big. Apostle Baloyi, you are big. The churches that invite you that day, how can I go with the church of Kenika in Enima? And then I said to him, my brother, okay, I get an animal, I pay 9,000 every month for the animal. But where I stay in a 3-room house. It doesn't make sense. Let me take the 9,000, improve my house, build more rooms. Every month, investing 9,000 every month in property, that's great wisdom. How much do you spend on airtime? This is a revival, I know. I'm still preaching revival message. How much do you spend on airtime you use for Facebook and WhatsApp and calling your friends and saying, go check a friend? From today, take that money, limit on your airtime. Tell yourself, I'll only use Facebook once a week. You won't die. I will only call my friends once a week instead of every day. Save that money and see how much it amounts to in 1 month. It would have made a difference. We blame xenophobia. We blame people from outside our country who come here and start businesses. Those people have been financially literate from where they come from. So when they come here, they find South Africans, we lift our hands and praise God, but financial literacy. And then we toy and say, what are you doing? I understand that they've got their businesses in town. Go to the shops. It's not South Africans. Because South Africans are not financially literate. They don't know how to trade. They don't know business. Money is imperative. And when money comes into you, the first thing you must think is how much this money can give me. If I give you 10,000 rands, before you think of spending it on McDonald's and enriching someone else, you think of what the 10,000 rand can do for you. How much can it bring in? Develop streams of income. If we are going to walk with the Lord, Bazalwane, our reasoning capacity should be stretched. Say amen. Don't shake your head. Chikara, God in Isaiah 1 verse 19, he says, come, let us reason together. Now, we are talking about a God who says, my thoughts are not your thoughts. Hey, I wish I was in Zambia, they would have said it. God says, my thoughts are not your thoughts, meaning my capacity can never be equal to God's capacity. And my ways are not your ways. But he says, come! Let's listen together. So God is putting up a challenge to say, stretch your mind, stretch your thought capacity, stretch your thinking. Think at my level. And then we can negotiate. That's why God says he does nothing before revealing it to his prophets. He sits with the prophet on the table before he can do anything. And they have an agreement to do it. Put your hand on your brain and do this. Call your name and say, someone think. Call your name and say, think. Someone think. God's original design of a human being. God created and designed and manufactured and engineered a thinker. That's why God called animals, some of the animals into being. And then God says to a man he created, engineered, who is a thinker, he says, give them names. God never named the animals. It was Adam, a thinker, who looked at a zebra and said, Kaiser Chiefs, oh sorry. Who looked at the animal with black and white stripes and said zebra? Who looked at the other one and said lion? Who looked at the other one and said dog? And up to today, it was because of the intelligence of that man that we call those animals with those names. For God to trust that man to name his creation, that man could have had a high level of intellect. Put your hand on your neighbor's head. Make sure you don't mess up their eyesight. And say, I pray that may God make you financially literate. May financial doors open for you. May God give you wisdom and ideas on how to manage money. In Jesus' name. Clap your hands for Jesus. Before you know it, I'll be done. Door number 3, it's a door of healthy relationships. If we are going to be kingdom people, we need healthy relationships. I did not say relationships. I said healthy relationships. Because some relationships are not healthy. You are associating with constituents. People who don't want you, but they want what you've got. And that can never be a healthy relationship. We need a relationship of, T.D. Jakes calls them confidants. And I call them confidants, but it's the same way. I'm Tonga, so T.D. Jakes is American. Confidants are people who are for you. They want you, not what you've got. Those are healthy relationships. And what you must get into your head is that no man is an island. No man is an island. Throughout the Bible, we see relationships. David, Jonathan. Jesus, disciples. We see relationships throughout the Bible because they are very imperative for our achievements. There are things you will not achieve when you are walking alone. You need someone. You need a healthy relationship. You need someone who knows what you don't know and you know what they don't know, and you complete one another.
Amen.
And Amos says, how can the two work together unless they agree? Relationship. There must be agreement. There must be common ground. There must be common ground. We relate based on common grounds and similar interests. I'm going to say that again. We relate based on common grounds and similar interests. I don't relate with you if we don't have same interests, because our relationship will not be fruitful. I'm relating with Pastor Chikalange because we have similar interests. We are preachers. So our relationship can be fruitful. And it can advance because similar interests and common ground. Look at your neighbor and say, you need the relationships. All the business people, you need relationships. You can't make it alone in your own corner. And you are alone in your own corner and you think you'll be a millionaire. It cannot happen. You need relationships. You need ideas from other people. You need inputs from other people. And people's inputs can stamp your convictions and give you a breakthrough.
Amen.
We need each other. So that's a door that's imperative in the kingdom. A door of relationships. In secular language, we call it networking. You need a network. You need to network with someone. But listen, you don't go around. Anyone you meet, let's network. What's your number? Zura guy. Mianundini. Mama Zanina, Mama Zarana. You don't go around networking with just anyone. You network with people, common ground, similar interests. Relationships will be fruitful. I went to Cape Town, my friend. I was preaching in Cape Town, and the place was full with bishops and pastors of Western Cape, and they did not know I was the guest. I get it now. I'm humble. I keep the lower gear. So I was sitting there and they did not know I was the guest. Some of them did not even greet me and they were sitting next to me. So they were just seeing a Soweto young man who came to Cape Town for opportunity or something. But the host, Bishop Parker, had invited me as the guest on that particular day where the bishops of Western Cape had gathered together. I'm not a bishop, but bishops were there. You understand what I'm saying? With those collars and the chains and all of the garments. And I was apostle. And I was sitting there. Nobody came to me to ask for my number. Believe me, nobody. And they were talking with each other one on one. Hey, Bishop Spanban. Hey, I just came from America. Hey, you know, and this and that. And I looked at them and I said, if this is how servants of God behave, then there's a problem. If we're going to judge one another by outer appearance and credentials, then there's a problem. Anyhow, the time came and the bishop called me to come and preach. And I climbed the podium and I spoke about the role of Africa in the Bible. When I spoke about that God used it. And when I descended the pulpit, all the bishops were standing on their feet. And after the service, they came and asked for my business card. And most of them gave me their cards. Here's my card. I had a bunch of business cards. You know what I did? Honestly, now I'm telling you, this is me. You don't have to do it. I took the cards, I left them with the host bishop. I said, I don't need such relationships. Because they only want my number now after hearing me preach. Before that, they did not want to relate with me. So I don't need such a relationship. Someone say, hurry up, Baloyi. Door number 4, now, this is the door of function. The door of function. You have discovered your ministry. You have healthy relationships. You have finances. Now you must function. The door of function. There are people seated here today who are gifted but not functioning in their gifts. When the Bible says your gift will make room for you, it does not make room for you when it's dormant. Your gift makes room for you when it's functioning, when you start to function in your gift, when you start to function in your skill, when you start to function in your abilities and capabilities and capacity, when you start to do it, when you start to prophesy, prophet, when you start to evangelize, evangelist, when you start to pastor, when you start to be an apostle, when you start gospel and whatever, when you start to function in your gift, that's when your gift opens room for you. So the door of function is very imperative. You've got the giant within you, you've got the power within you, you have capacity within you, you have what it takes within you, but baby, you must function. You must function in that which is in you. You must function in your gift. You must function in your ability. You must function in your talent. You must function. For you to see doors starting to open, you must start to function. Look at your neighbor and say, function, function, function. Stand up on your feet and high five 3 people and say, function, function, function in your gift, function in your power, function in your anointing, function in your skill, function, function. Do it, baby, do it. Put it on the internet. Time is not waiting for you. Time waits for no man. Start functioning now. Start functioning now. Time will not wait for you. You start doing it now. Somebody say now. The world is waiting for your anointing. So you must start functioning. The world is waiting for your wisdom. So you must start functioning. The world is waiting for your voice. So you must start functioning. The world is waiting for your skills. So you must start functioning. When you start to function, then things will start to happen. Companies will look for you. People will look for you. Greatness will look for you. Greatness will locate your name and address. But only when you start to function. If you have the gift of prophecy, prophesy now. Don't wait for Jesus to come back. When he comes back, he's taking us. He's not coming back for your prophecy. You prophesy now. You heal people now. You raise the dead now. You heal the sick now. You become a blessing to others now. You sponsor the ministry now. You raise your business now. You function now. You do it now. Look at your neighbor and say, do it now. So this is the door of function.
Amen.
Now what you must understand is that when you are gifted, you were not gifted because you joined my church. You were gifted, now I'm going to my son. You were gifted when you were in the womb of God.
Yeah.
Before you were in the womb of your mother. Yeah. There are 3 types of wombs that I want you to know about. There is a womb of a woman, which is family. Every woman, put your hand on your stomach and say, I'm a womb man. Put your hand in your stomach and say, I'm a womb man.
I am a woman.
So you are a woman. Now, the womb of a woman, then you get a spiritual womb. So in the natural, there is no man who has a womb. A man can come and claim to be pregnant 6 months and 2 days and walking like this with swollen feet. Then we're going to have a problem. We'll pray for you and deliver you because naturally it doesn't make sense. A man cannot have a womb. But spiritually, a man who doesn't have a womb has a problem. In the spirit, both men and women of the kingdom must be capacitated with wombs. The 3rd type of a womb is the one I'm talking about, the womb of God. But let me explain something. Let's look at the womb of a woman first. Look at the womb of a woman. I'm going to tell you something you don't know, even doctors don't know. When the womb of a woman is formed, but you can make research and find it to be true. When the womb of a woman is formed, it starts as two almost invisible wombs that grow into one womb. And those two wombs that are almost invisible when the womb of a woman is formed have got a significant meaning in the spiritual matters. In the world of revelation, have got a significant meaning. Those two wombs represent two compartments in the womb of a woman. If you are sitting next to a woman, say to them, you have two compartments in your womb.